Hi, Kaneland community. It's Dr. Todd Leden here. I am proud to be a Knight, and I'm also proud to start off the October edition of Todd Talks. With me today, I have three special guests as we learn more about the learner profile. I'll allow those guests to introduce themselves, and then they're going to share a little bit about how they use the learner profile and how they work with it with our students.
Hi everyone, my name is Liz Orman. I'm an instructional coach in the elementary buildings.
I'm Suzanne Satterfield. I teach 7th grade science at Harder Middle School.
And I'm Shari Tremblay, and I am an instructional coach here at Harder Middle School.
Okay, so we're going to start out talking about the elementary buildings. So I'm representing our 4 elementary buildings, and right now we have some early childhood, kindergarten and 1st grade learners creating paper versions of the learner profile. In our 2nd grade through 5th grade classrooms, we have learners using either a paper version or a digital version of the learner profile. So what is the learner profile exactly? It's a place where we keep all the most important information about our learners and ourselves and how we learn best. Teachers usually spend all the time gathering all the information, creating great information about their learners, but we're pulling our students into this process now, and we're co-creating the learner profile together. So the learner profile has 4 important parts. One part is the academic status, where students will know if they're proficient, approaching proficiency, if they need support. There's the All About Me section. There's the learning drivers, like how do you learn best? What do you need? What are your goals? And then there's the learning related skills, like what do you need? Do you work best collaboratively or independently? We take all that information, we put it in the learner profile, and then we teach our learners to reflect on how they learn best. Once they do that, then we can teach them to advocate for what they need, and we put it all together, and then we can start personalizing their learning, and then we can have them have a better role in their learning as they become more involved and active participants. So we're gonna pass it on to the middle school friends.
Okay, here at the middle school, we do that, but we're upping it onto having kids actually make a Google site. A lot of the work, here's what the kids start with. They're able to personalize and customize whatever they want, but it was a place for them to land and to start. So all of those parts that Ms. Orman shared are in here. It's just organized in a digital way. So one of the parts in the All About Me that Ms. Orman mentioned is those reflective skills on how do they learn. Well, sometimes when they get up to us, they don't know necessarily how to express that. So we helped them with some different lists. These lists were not just pulled out of the air. We actually looked to people who are smarter than us and got them from some very reliable people to help kids reflect and help them kind of find those words that they might not know how to like share on how they learn. So we're kind of helping them out a little bit. So in that how do I learn best part of their site, they're going through and really reflecting on themselves. Mrs. Satterfield?
As a core teacher in my classroom, when we were developing this Google site, we wanted to make it something that was meaningful throughout the year and not something that was like a one and done. So they will be reflecting on the elements that Mrs. Tremblay talked about. But as a core teacher, I'm going to be having them embed evidence of what they've learned, and then they're going to be reflecting on what they've learned throughout the year. And we can come back to things and use it to compare so they can see their growth in different elements. So I'm a science teacher, so on my science page, we put in the reported standards, which are the 8 practices from NGSS of things that scientists have to do. Embedded in that is also the content they'll be learning, like about cells and things like that. So right now the kids have been working really hard on planning and carrying out investigations. So they're going to be embedding their investigations that they designed and the data that they gathered. And the hope is that we'll be able to come back to this throughout the year and use those for reflection and growth, and they're not awareness of their own learning and understanding. So, and we're also going to be using it for student-led conferences. This is a very nice platform. It's very organized, so the kids will be able to share their evidence of learning even after 1 quarter.
Thank you very much for our guests today. We appreciated having Mrs. Orman, Mrs. Tremblay, and Mrs. Satterfield to share more about the learner profile. So if you would, tonight when you're sitting at dinner with your family, talk with your students about the learner profile. Ask them what they know about the learner profile and have that discussion at home. But again, thank you very much and look forward to seeing you for the November Todd Talk.